If you're from the UK, please don't skip this video, just stay for a couple of minutes and please listen, because this affects each and every person that lives in the UK. I have just left Lincoln County Hospital after visiting my best friend. Now, my best friend's got a chronic illness, and a week ago she got an email from her consultant telling her that she needed to be admitted immediately. They said that the bed nurse would be in touch and arrange for a day for her to go in. A week later comes, she's still not heard anything, and she is now in absolute agony. So she rings 111, who tell her to go straight to Lincoln A&E. So she sits in Lincoln A&E, and they tell her that there's nothing they can do for her there, and there's going to be up to a 45-hour wait to be admitted for a bed. On one of the days, I went and sat with her for about 6 hours in A&E just so that she wasn't on her own, and I've genuinely never seen anything like it. Now, I'm from a small town, so I'm not used to this in the hospitals, so it might be normal for some of you, but it definitely isn't for me. There were at least 6 people just sat in A&E with drip stands, getting their blood pressure done, getting fluids. It was just awful, all just sat in A&E, and the longest person that had been there at that time, they had been waiting for 52 hours, and there were over 100 patients in A&E. The head nurse gave us an update, said that 52 of them 100 patients were waiting for a bed to be admitted to the hospital. There were 5 beds available. That was all. After 32 hours, my best friend finally gets taken to a ward. She gets walked through the whole ward, and right at the end there's a tiny little room that looks like a broom cupboard. There are 3 recliner chairs in there, and she's sat in a recliner chair after being told, 1, that she needed to be admitted over a week ago, and 2, that she needed to be admitted into a bed because she is so poorly. She has just waited 32 hours in A&E to sit in a reclining chair. To make matters worse, she's not just in a reclining chair, she's sharing a room with 2 other people, one of them being a drug addict. Now, the man that was a drug addict was going into the toilet every few minutes, I don't know what I can say on here, but sniffing coke. Whether this gets taken down or not, I'm not sure, but yeah, sniffing coke. Then his girlfriend would come, do the same thing, in and out of the toilet, doing cocaine. Now, my friend actually is meant to be isolated with a bathroom to herself because of how poorly she is, and I'll put in a picture of the chart that she's meant to be isolated. Now, this is the chart that she had to fill in. She has given me permission to share this. It doesn't have details on, and you can see here that she has to rate, obviously, this, and if it's ever at a 6 or a 7, then she needs to be isolated immediately. So not only is she sharing a room with 2 other men, one being a drug user who's actively using drugs in the ward is dirty. She was given a pillowcase, which I'll insert a picture of here, a pillow and a pillowcase that was just absolutely filthy. Now, this was a pillow in the pillowcase that she got. It wasn't from her, this was like it when she got it. Absolutely disgusting. So there was absolutely no infection control here. This was the coffee table that she was given next to her bed. Absolutely disgusting. She said that she had also watched a patient get moved out of this recliner, and before it had even been wiped down or sanitised, another patient was moved straight in. The blanket hadn't been changed, and neither had the pillow. There was rubbish all over the floor, bands, packets, gauze, everything. There was even an oxygen cylinder lent up next to her drawers that had all of her towels, all of her medication on, a full oxygen cylinder. Just going back to the man that was doing drugs in the toilet, my friend's sister actually went to the nurses and explained the situation to them, and the nurses' response were that they know that he's got it and they know that he keeps it in a little white Nivea pot, but they can't really do anything about it. So not only are they aware, they are letting it happen with a vulnerable girl in there. The hallways were absolutely covered in bins, overflowing with rubbish. There was a leak in the middle of the hallway, so they put a bucket there with a used gauze in it as well. And in no means am I blaming the NHS, I'm not blaming the nurses, the staff, the hospital itself. But this needs to be spoken more about, and the politicians, the MPs, they need to visit these hospitals at these times instead of going to hospitals, shaking hands with patients and acting like everything's fucking amazing. Go to these ones. Go to the hospitals where the A&Es are overflowing. They've got over 100 patients in there. They've got 5 beds with 52 patients waiting for a bed. They've got drip stands everywhere. There's trip hazards. There's rubbish in the hallways. There's young girls, vulnerable, poorly girls being put in tiny little cupboards for rooms with fucking drug users. The nurses are aware of it and they can't do anything. It's not okay and it's not spoken about enough. I didn't even want to leave her there. But what are you meant to do? Hospitals are somewhere where you're meant to feel safe. You're meant to feel vulnerable when you're poorly. They're meant to look after you. You are not meant to feel unsafe. You are not meant to feel uncomfortable. It is unacceptable and it needs fucking talking about and it needs sorting.